Well, I just take a still.
Yeah.
What is going on, Movie Meals?
Hi.
We just saw Gemini Man with 2 Will Smiths, and
There was 2 Alexes.
there were 2 Alexes there.
When we went to see
was
it.
supposed to be 3. But yeah, we're here to
Yeah,
review it.
supposed to be
Positives,
3.
negatives, non-spoiler review. Kyle, let's get into it. What did you think of Ang Lee's Gemini Man?
It's fine.
Okay, can you give me more?
Nah, I don't. It was a lot better than I anticipated. There wasn't really a whole lot of anticipation with Gemini Man for me, and I came out being a lot more impressed than I thought I would. Of course, I say that because I had really low expectations, and I came out thinking it was a fine enough action movie. Ang Lee directed some pretty decent action sequences in the midst of really boring, drawn-out dialogue scenes. But luckily, I was able to catch my attention thanks to Will Smith, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Thank you. She's great. She's terrific. I just forget her name a lot. And they were really the ones that were anchoring this movie, and seeing the 2 Will Smiths were awesome. Like the younger Will Smith, that part was actually done very well. Like it looks very realistic up until there was one scene. Up until one scene, it looked pretty bad.
There's one scene. It's
yeah,
horrendous. We'll
it's
get into that with the
horrendous.
negatives.
Yeah, sure, but aside from that, though, like it's entertaining enough for an action movie for what Ang Lee was trying to do anyway. I guess it exceeded my expectations, which were pretty low. So yeah, I that's all I got for the positives.
Yeah, my positives. I mean, Will Smith delivers a great performance. Mary Elizabeth Winstead's a star. Benedict Wong, who's in this, really kind of steals the show. Every scene he's in is really, really good. It was nice seeing Clive Owen again. You know, I'm a big Clive Owen fan, and he's just dropped off the market. I love Children of Men, and it was nice seeing him in a role. It was a little bit of a goofy role, but I really liked it. The CGI, the young Will did look, I thought, very, very good. Mm-hmm. And again, until that end point, which we'll get into. But the action scenes I liked. I actually thought the action scenes were really well choreographed. Mm-hmm. I thought they were really fun and action-packed. And yeah, so I really dug it. I did end up liking this movie a lot more. I had heard this whole combination where it was like 4K, 20 to 120 frames per second, and 3D. That's the way to see it. And then I heard that's not the way to see it. And we just saw it normal.
There's no theaters that can do all that. Like there's only
it's just in the big
14 theaters that could get close to seeing that. So whatever Ang Lee, I guess, is going to our negatives now. It's just there's really no point in Ang Lee doing that. But anyway, sorry if you're not done yet.
I was not done. I'm sorry. But no, I actually think that helped it. Just seeing it normal. There were moments where it did look a little 4K, and you were like, "Man, this looks really clear." Like it kind of looked like they were by a green screen because they looked so clear, and maybe they were. But yeah, that's the end. Kyle, what are your negatives?
It's frustrating because Ang Lee spent this money to try and use this new technology to make it look 4K with 120 frames per second, and like it turns out there's literally no theaters that do that, or at least get anywhere close to that. So it ends up looking like a fine movie. I think casual movie audiences aren't going to notice the difference anyway. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. But movie buffs like us, like maybe we would have wished to see it, but maybe it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Maybe it would have looked just as good or maybe better. Who knows? So that part's kind of a bit frustrating anyway, just to hear that. But for the rest of the negatives, I thought the writing was weak because I don't know what type of movie this was trying to be. I wasn't sure if this was trying to be like a action mystery movie. I wasn't sure if this was trying to be like a character piece or like a deep perspective on like what type of person that Will Smith is trying to be, and like he's trying to make it. I don't know. Like I'm gonna go into spoiler territory if I go any further, I guess. But I just wasn't quite sure what type of movie the Ang Lee was trying to make, what type of action movie was trying to be, or if this was just an excuse to come up with a way to use all this new technology. So. Due to the writing and the confusion on what this movie was trying to be, I just wasn't able to get into it as much as I would have.
I didn't get the kind of what type of movie is this going to be vibe at all. I thought it was a fun little action movie, just kind of the way I thought of it, a cool, unique sci-fi action film. My biggest problems are, one, There is a very blatant moment where the young Will Smith looks horrendous. It looks
it's
horrible.
Like Alex and I both were like, ugh!
I mean, even our common movie buddy who comes with us was like, my goodness.
That was pretty rough.
You know, that is bad. Some of the fights, as much as I like the action and the choreograph, they are kind of shot where it's a little video gamey, and the speed they're hitting, all the stuff they're doing is a little video gamey.
Yeah, sure.
And it looks a little CGI'd, it looks a little video gamey, but overall, I mean, it still worked for me, but that was a negative. I think it was weakly directed with a meh script. I didn't hate the script. I thought it was okay. I was really looking forward to seeing this movie and the script because one of the writers is David Benioff, from Game of Thrones, who will now be doing just a treatment of Star Wars, which gets me nervous if he's still going to be doing so. I mean, I went from like, give him the benefit of the doubt, let's see what his other movie script is. There were other writers, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to get on a tangent. But it also comes down to Ang Lee. I just didn't think I thought when Ang Lee had he was doing one long sequence where we went into action and then this more intense drama, it worked. But overall, some of his editing choices I didn't necessarily love. Some of his shot selection I didn't necessarily love. He has some weird camera movements I didn't really love that kind of pop in and out throughout the movie. And I like Ang Lee. Ang Lee's made a couple movies that I really enjoy, but he's just kind of been missing the last few years, which has been a bummer. But yeah, those were my biggest negatives. But I did think the movie was fine. I don't regret going to see it. So, yeah, anything else to add, Kyle?
No.
All right, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.